Welcome to Sri Lanka, famously known as the Pearl of the Indian Ocean, a jewel nestled in the waters off the southern tip of India. This island nation is a unique blend of breathtaking natural beauty, from golden sandy beaches and rolling tea plantations to dense rainforests and misty mountains. Sri Lanka is not only a feast for the eyes, but also a treasure trove of history and culture. Its story stretches back over 3,000 years, a tale woven with ancient kingdoms, magnificent temples, and thriving trade with distant lands. From the early settlers who shaped the land with remarkable irrigation systems, to the arrival of Buddhism that transformed the spiritual life of the island, Sri Lanka's past is as rich and layered as its landscapes. In this video, we'll take you on a journey through time, exploring the rise of powerful kingdoms like Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa, the impact of foreign traders and colonial powers such as the Portuguese, Dutch, and British, and the struggle for independence that finally led to the modern nation we know today. Along the way, we'll discover how Sri Lanka preserved its cultural identity through centuries of change, leaving behind magnificent monuments, traditional arts, and a resilient spirit that continues to inspire the world. Join us as we explore the fascinating history of Sri Lanka, a land where every corner tells a story, and every story is a window into the soul of this remarkable island. Sri Lanka's history stretches back thousands of years, with evidence of human settlement as early as 125,000 years ago. But it was around 500 BCE that organized civilizations began to flourish, laying the foundation for the island's rich cultural heritage. The first major kingdoms arose in the fertile plains of Anuradhapura and later Polonnaruwa, becoming centers of political power, religion, and trade. These ancient cities were marvels of planning, featuring massive reservoirs, sophisticated irrigation systems, and well-laid streets that demonstrate the ingenuity of early Sri Lankans. The people of these early kingdoms were deeply connected to both the land and their beliefs. Agriculture, especially rice cultivation, supported growing populations, while art and architecture flourished in the form of stupas, monasteries, and palaces. The intricate carvings, statues, and frescoes from this period reflect a society that valued spirituality, beauty, and innovation. By mastering water management and urban planning, these civilizations thrived for centuries, leaving behind monuments that still stand today as a testament to Sri Lanka's ancient brilliance. Walking through sites like Anuradhapura's sacred city or Polonnaruwa's royal complex, one can truly feel the pulse of a civilization that laid the groundwork for the nation's enduring cultural identity. One of the most defining moments in Sri Lanka's history was the arrival of Buddhism in the 3rd century BCE. This came through Mahinda, the son of the Indian Emperor Ashoka, who traveled to the island to spread the teachings of the Buddha. Buddhism quickly became the spiritual and cultural foundation of Sri Lankan society. It influenced governance, art, education, and daily life. Kings and common people alike embraced the teachings, building temples, stupas, and monastic complexes that reflected their devotion. One of the most sacred sites in Sri Lanka, the Temple of the Tooth in Kandy, houses a relic believed to be a tooth of the Buddha, and it remains a symbol of both spiritual reverence and historical continuity. Over centuries, Buddhism shaped the island's architecture, literature, and social values, guiding the nation through periods of prosperity and turmoil. The arrival of Buddhism also connected Sri Lanka to a broader network of spiritual and cultural exchange across Asia, linking it with India, China, and Southeast Asia. Today, the legacy of this period is still visible in the island's grand stupas, Merit. Following the establishment of Buddhism, Sri Lanka became home to a succession of powerful kingdoms and dynasties that shaped its political and cultural landscape. Among the most notable were Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, and later the Kingdom of Kandy. The Anuradhapura Kingdom, which lasted over 1,000 years, was renowned for its advanced irrigation networks, monumental stupas, and palaces. Kings such as Devanampiya Tissa and Dutugamunu were celebrated for their leadership, military campaigns, and devotion to Buddhism. Their reigns left a lasting mark through grand structures like the Nuwara Eliya stupa and intricate carvings that still awe visitors today. Later, the Polonnaruwa kingdom rose to prominence, with kings like Parakramabahu the Great further expanding irrigation systems, trade networks, and urban planning. Polonnaruwa became a thriving center of art, architecture, and literature, demonstrating a golden age of prosperity and governance. Meanwhile, the Kingdom of Kandy, located in the Central Highlands, resisted foreign invasions for centuries, preserving the island's culture and traditions during periods of colonial interference. Its strategic location in the mountains allowed it to maintain independence longer than other regions, and it became a stronghold of Sinhalese identity and Buddhism. These dynasties were not just political powers. They were guardians of Sri Lanka's cultural and spiritual life. Their achievements in architecture, literature, and governance laid the foundation for the island's enduring legacy and identitiation monasteries and the serene rhythm of life in many Sri Lankan communities. Sri Lanka's strategic location in the Indian Ocean made it a key hub for trade and cultural exchange for centuries. The island sat along the maritime Silk Road, connecting Asia, the Middle East, and beyond. From ancient times, Sri Lanka exported spices like cinnamon, precious gems, pearls, and ivory, attracting traders from India, China, Arabia, and later Europe. In return, foreign merchants brought new ideas, technologies, and cultural influences, enriching the island's own traditions. This period of active trade not only fueled the economy, but also shaped the social and cultural life of the island. Coastal cities like Galle became bustling centers of commerce, while inland kingdoms maintained connections with distant lands through river networks and trade routes. However, Sri Lanka's wealth also made it a target for foreign powers. Its ports and strategic position drew the attention of European colonizers, setting the stage for centuries of external influence and control. Despite this, the island maintained a strong cultural identity, blending foreign influences with its own rich traditions in art, architecture, and religion. From the 16th to the 19th century, Sri Lanka experienced a series of European colonial occupations that profoundly shaped its history. The first to arrive were the Portuguese in 1505, who established control over coastal regions and introduced Christianity, new trade practices, and European-style fortifications. By the 17th century, the Dutch replaced the Portuguese, further expanding control over the island's ports and trade. They built impressive fortresses, canals, and administrative systems that would influence local governance for years to come. Finally, in 1796, the British took control of Sri Lanka, unifying the entire island under colonial rule by 1815. The British transformed the economy through large-scale plantation agriculture, particularly tea, coffee, and rubber, which remains a key part of Sri Lanka's identity today. While colonial powers brought infrastructure and trade opportunities, they also imposed foreign laws, disrupted local governance, and exploited the island's resources. Despite this, Sri Lankan culture, religion, and traditions endured, often subtly resisting foreign influence. Monasteries, festivals, and local customs continued to flourish, preserving the island's unique identity even under centuries of external control. In the early 20th century, Sri Lanka, then known as Ceylon, began to seek freedom from British colonial rule. Inspired by global movements for self-determination, local leaders, intellectuals, and citizens mobilized for independence through political activism, negotiation, and peaceful protest. One of the key figures in this movement was Don Stephen Senanayake, who advocated for gradual constitutional reforms and unity among diverse ethnic and religious communities. Political organizations, such as the Ceylon National Congress, worked tirelessly to represent the interests of the people and negotiate with the British authorities. After decades of organized efforts and political struggle, Sri Lanka finally achieved independence on February 4, 1948. The island became a sovereign nation, marking the end of over 400 years of European colonial influence. Independence allowed Sri Lankans to govern their own country, preserve their culture, and shape a modern identity while honoring centuries of rich history. This period was not only a political milestone, but also a testament to the resilience, unity, and determination of the Sri Lankan people, who overcame colonial domination through vision, strategy, and a deep love for their homeland. After gaining independence in 1948, Sri Lanka faced the complex task of nation-building. While the country celebrated sovereignty, it also encountered political, social, and economic challenges that tested its unity. One of the most significant issues was ethnic tension between the majority Sinhalese and the Tamil minority. Disagreements over language, education, and political representation eventually escalated, leading to decades of conflict and civil unrest that affected millions of lives. Economically, Sri Lanka worked to modernize agriculture, industry, and trade while addressing inequalities left by colonial rule. Infrastructure development, educational reforms, and health initiatives became central to the nation's progress. Despite these difficulties, the resilience of the Sri Lankan people allowed the country to preserve its culture, traditions, and Buddhist heritage. Communities continued celebrating festivals, practicing traditional arts, and maintaining historical sites, keeping the spirit of the nation alive even during turbulent times. Today, Sri Lanka stands as a vibrant nation that beautifully blends tradition and modernity. The island is known for its stunning landscapes, from pristine beaches and lush tea plantations to misty mountains and wildlife-rich national parks. Economically, Sri Lanka has diversified beyond agriculture and tea, embracing industries like tourism, textiles, and technology. Cities like Colombo showcase modern skyscrapers and bustling markets, while ancient cities like Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa remind visitors of the island's deep historical roots. Culturally, Sri Lanka continues to celebrate its rich heritage through festivals, music, dance, and art. Events such as Vesak, which commemorates the birth, enlightenment, and passing of the Buddha, attract thousands of devotees and visitors from around the world. Modern Sri Lanka is also reconnecting with its global neighbors, engaging in trade, diplomacy, and cultural exchange. The nation's story is one of resilience, hope, and adaptation, showing how a country with such a long and complex history can evolve while honoring its past. Sri Lanka today is not just a destination. It is a living tapestry of history, culture, and natural beauty, inviting the world to experience its enduring charm. Sri Lanka's history is a remarkable story of resilience, culture, and transformation. From its ancient kingdoms and the arrival of Buddhism to centuries of foreign influence and the struggle for independence, the island has continuously evolved while preserving its unique identity. Today, Sri Lanka stands as a symbol of endurance and beauty, a nation where ancient temples sit alongside modern cities, and traditional festivals coexist with contemporary culture. Its landscapes, people, and heritage tell a story that is both timeless and inspiring. As we reflect on Sri Lanka's journey, we see a nation that has faced challenges, embraced change, and remained proud of its roots. Whether you are exploring its historic cities, scenic landscapes, or cultural traditions, Sri Lanka offers a glimpse into a civilization that has endured for thousands of years and continues to shine as the pearl of the Indian Ocean. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Sri Lanka's fascinating history. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to explore more stories from around the world.